In today's lesson, we're going to start working in detail with the Designer tool. Specifically, we're going to first of all learn how to access the Designer tool and set up a user login account for you. Secondly, we'll be having a run through of the various features of the Designer tool. And thirdly, we'll be learning how to set up all of the different question types which Survey Solutions has to offer us. Let's get started and take a look at how to access the tool and log in. To access the Designer tool, you'll need to open your web browser. Today I'm using Google Chrome, but you can use any browser you're comfortable with. And we'll navigate to the website designer.mysurvey.solutions. You can see here I have my username and password here already, but when you're visiting for the first time, these will be blank and you'll need to press register here to set up a new account. On the registration screen, you'll need to fill in a login, which will be your username for Survey Solutions, your email account, and a password, which is a minimum of 10 symbols containing numbers and letters. When you've completed the registration details, you can click the capture button at the bottom to inform that you're not a robot. So today I have to select storefronts. Once you've finished the capture, press register to create your new account. After confirming your registration details through email, you can now log into the Designer. There's a button here you can tick and remain logged in for a whole day, so the system won't sign you out. So now that we're all logged into the Designer, let's take a quick run through and learn about the screen layout and all the different features. So the first time you log in, you'll be greeted with the Designer dashboard. You can see here, because it's our first visit to Designer, we do not have any records or any surveys that we've created before. Across the top, we have a section for My Questionnaires. This will hold all the questionnaires that you've created in this user account. Next, we have questionnaires shared with me. So if a colleague or somebody else has shared a questionnaire to you, you'll be able to find them here. Because we're a new setup, we have none here either. We also have public questionnaires, which the Survey Solutions administration has made a wide variety of surveys for us to take a look at for reference. But today we're going to be creating a new survey. To create a new questionnaire, the first thing we need to set is the questionnaire title. This is simply a name we're going to give to our questionnaire. So for today's example, I'm going to call it question types. The next thing we need to set is called the questionnaire variable. This is a global variable for our questionnaire that we're creating, and Survey Solutions uses it for things such as naming the data export when we come to that later in the process. Now the questionnaire variable, as you'll see, it doesn't allow us to have spaces and other certain rules like this that you can see here. So what I'll do is change to something like question types, and the system will be happy with that. So to create my questionnaire, I just simply press create. This brings us to the main workspace page for our new questionnaire. Now there's a lot going on this page the first time we see it, so we'll walk through it piece by piece to get a bit of a feel. So starting with the top left, we have here the D. Clicking this will take you back to the Designer homepage. Next, we have the title of our questionnaire that we input previously, question types. Underneath this, we have a count of the number of questions, sections, and rosters which are in the questionnaire. And then we have buttons to compile the questionnaire. That means put it all together and check for errors. And a button to test to allow us to test within the web browser. Over on this side, we have some menus for help, access the Survey Solutions forum, a history to view the changes we've made to our questionnaire so far. We can download our questionnaire in a PDF format, some settings menu, and our login info. On the left-hand side over here, we have what's called the Advanced panel. Now, we'll cover all of these buttons further on in the course, but today we're just going to worry about the top one here, which is for the different sections of the questionnaire. Now, it's a really good idea to give your questionnaire distinct sections as you're setting it up. This will make the experience much better for the interviewers later on when they come to work on the tablets. So for our brand new questionnaire, Survey Solution gives us two sections already. We have first of all the cover section and then a new section. We can add more of our own by pressing this button and they will display down here. So a quick word about the cover. This is a section which comes as default, and what we should put in here is all of our identifying questions for the questionnaire. So this might be the region, the province, district, or village selection questions where the survey is taking place, or it might be the respondent name or something like this. It's how you would identify a survey case from one another. So your questions will go in there which are identifying, and the purpose of this is that the interviewers will be able to easily see these questions later on their tablets so they can take case from case. Next we have is the new section. So this is a default name. I'm going to click on this now and I'll rename it to section 1 and press save.
Let's take a look now at how to set up our first question in Survey Solutions. Now we're ready to add our first question in Survey Solutions. It's quite simple. We press here the button Add Question. So now you can see on our section form that we have a question here which is blank, and we have some settings over on the right hand side to set up our question with. The first thing we need to do when creating a new question is to select the type of question we want to have. You can see Survey Solutions has quite a variety of different questions we can employ. We have single select, multi-select, numeric, date, text, GPS, a list, barcode, picture, audio, and geography. Let's start with a single select question. The next thing we need to do when setting up a question after we've chosen the type is give it a variable name. Your variable name should usually match to the question ID in your paper survey. So today let's make it Q1. The next thing we need to set up is a variable label. The variable label will be present only in your data exports in Stata or SPSS. It won't be seen on the tablet screen. You can give it a name which describes the question that you're asking about, or you can give it the same variable label as the question text. It's up to you. Today, I will call it gender. Next is the question text. This is what's going to appear on the CAPI screen for our interviewer to read aloud to the respondent. So I will write, what is your gender? ? Underneath this, we have some specific options depending on the type of question. So for a single select, we need to add the different answer options. Let's set up an option for male and one for female. Don't worry today about the remaining options. We'll be covering these later in the survey. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and set up 10 more questions, one for each different type of questions which Survey Solutions offers us. Now that I've completed all of my questions, what I'm going to do is press the compile button. Basically, the compile button puts together all the work that we've done and checks it for any errors. So here's our first survey completed and ready to test. That's all for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed your first introduction to the Designer tool. Join us next time and we're going to learn how to test the application we just made, both on the tablets in the tester application and on your computer using the Designer tool.